Hey, welcome into another Whoosh video here with me, Louie. Today we're going to take a look at some of the books that I had signed at Terrificon and submitted to CGC. So, without further ado, let's jump in. Alright, so shout out to Bobby's Retro World for witnessing and submitting these signatures for me at Terrificon. I can't thank them enough. I am super stoked to have all of these books, and yeah, can't wait to share them with you. But before we get into that, remember, if you're enjoying the channel, to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps YouTube push the channel out to more people. And if you want to see something in particular discussed on the channel, let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to take a look and see if I can fit it in. But now that that's all out of the way, let's take a look at our first book. And I have them in a random order because I don't remember what they are. So, we have Edge of the Spider-Verse #1, signed by Scotty Young. Travel Foreman, Eric Gapster, and Salvador LaRocca art is the note on here as well. Very, very, very excited. I know my wife was really stoked about getting this one signed. We have a love of Scotty's Spider-Man covers, so this was really cool to go and meet him and get him to sign it. So this was #1 on that list. Ooh, okay. So I do see a spoiler for what book #2 is that's going to be shown. And that is another Scotty Spider-Man. Spider-Punk Arms Race #1. No notes on this one for any significance, but this was a exclusive to stupidfreshmess.com, so you could go there and get them. You can go check them out too for Scotty stuff. He has a lot of exclusives on there, which is really, really cool. I've shown you some on here before. There was the exclusive Ultimate Spider-Man #1 I picked up from him, and the Transformers #1 4th printing with a white cover that I also picked up and showed in a short. So if, I'll include that link in the description below if you want to go check it out. Yeah, no, super stoked about this. Absolutely loved meeting Scotty. He was an absolute gem of a human being. Wicked, wicked nice guy. And I know probably made my wife's con to be able to meet him when we met him at Terrificon. So it was really cool to be able to get this signed and submitted through Bobby's Retro World. Can't thank them enough for it. Really, really awesome and really super cool book to have. So that was pretty great. So I'm pretty sure the next two, I mean, there's only 4, so the next 2 are definitely mine. They're ones I had signed and submitted for myself, mostly. I think I told one of the stories before, but let's see what this first book is. Here we go. We have Daredevil #11 from 2016. And this is significant because this is the first appearance of Muse, and this one is signed by Charles Soule, who was the head writer on this run. It was really cool to get to meet him. Really great to have this issue, and even better to have it come back as a 9.8 for an all-white cover that was just in my personal collection. Makes me feel like I kind of store things pretty well, so that was pretty cool. Very stoked. It's an interesting cover to put out for art at some point, which it will make its way out for art at some point. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I just thought it was really cool to get to meet him and have him sign the Muse book, especially with Muse coming out soon. I was very stoked to meet him. I think a lot of people probably brought this book, but I brought one book for him to sign and one book only, and it was this one. I could have brought a lot more. He's done the Star Wars run. He's written Vader as well. So Charles Soule is an amazing, amazing writer. So shout out to him for all of that. And go check out some of his novel work too. He's done, if you like Star Wars, the High Republic runs he's done are amazing. I think I mentioned on here before meeting Claudia Gray at New York Comic Con last year, and she absolutely recommended going to read his work in the High Republic stuff too. So yeah, he's an awesome writer, and I cannot recommend him enough. And I could not be more stoked to have this. I'm just super pumped because that Daredevil run was a really good run too. So very cool, very cool. And the last one might be one of the more significant ones to me personally. I know for sure I've mentioned that my wife and her dad both share a love of Thor. I wasn't a big Thor person prior to Jason Aaron's run on Thor, and I might have shown off on here before that I already have a Thor God of Thunder #1 CGCed, which is the first issue of that run. I have a Thor God of Thunder #2, also CGCed. That's the first appearance of Gore. But I had the chance to meet Jason Aaron, and I was like, okay, I have 2 books from this run already done. I love this run, but what's another book of significance? And this one happens to tie into a few different things. The family love of Thor, my love of Jason Aaron's Thor, the fact that Jason Aaron wrote the Jane Foster run as Thor, which my wife absolutely loves, and the fact that in this book right here, Thor God of Thunder #6, which is now signed by Jason Aaron down here on the cover, you get the origin of Gore, but you also get a cameo appearance of Null. The first cameo appearance of Null, as you see a symbiote god fighting what turns out to be a god of light. And you learn that kind of back in King in Black. And really cool, kind of a nice little crossover, especially with Null appearing in Venom The Last Dance. And I love Null anyway. I love Gore. So this whole book was a very great culmination of things for me. The fact that Gore's sword is a symbiote as well. It's just a really cool, fun kind of crossover. And again, 9.8. All these came back at 9.8, so I probably owe Bobby's Retro World a shout out for making sure that they were in the best condition possible before submitting them as well. So again, thank you. But overall, I'm super pumped for all of these books that I got back from Terrificon. I can't hype it up enough that Terrificon is a great place to go to meet some of your favorite comic book artists and writers. I love going to other cons, Fan Expo Boston, Terrificon. I can't say as much about Granite State. I love going to Granite State, but Granite State had a lot of artists and creators there too, so I can't. They're pretty close to being on par with what Terrificon had. I think Terrificon might just have a bigger space, but those cons where they have the creators, where you can go in and meet the people who wrote the stories you love, is awesome to me. And even some of them that you weren't sure you would end up loving, like getting the chance to meet some of our other people there, like Howard Chaykin and so many other artists and people. It was really cool just to get to talk to them and get to know them a little bit. So I can't recommend going to these enough, not just for the celebrities, but for the artists themselves. See the original art they have there. See the stories they're making. A lot of them are doing their own side stories on top of what they're writing for the bigger publishers. So it's really cool. It's really awesome. And I genuinely had such a blast at Terrificon, and I'm really happy to be able to put this bow on it with these 4 9.8s signed books that we got back. So yeah, that's it for me. But before I go, if there's anything cool that you've gotten signed or anything you enjoy about cons and stuff, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read them and see your thoughts on all of these things. So definitely do that. And yeah, we'll catch you here next time. Thanks.